Hey guys, we are live. Ron and Rhonda Gessner here from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Hope you guys are having an amazing Thursday. Just trying to double check that we are live. Do you see any new comments on there? Hey guys, excited to be here with you today. We are looking forward to sharing some information with you. Let me scroll down here a little bit. And then Ron, if you can check for comments. I get too distracted if I'm trying to talk and read the comments, but make sure you say hello to us. Tell us where you're watching from if you're watching live. And if you're watching the replay, just type replay and where you're watching the replay from. As we like to go back through all the comments and make sure that we answer any questions. If you feel as though this information is going to be beneficial to some of your Facebook friends, why don't you go ahead and share this Facebook Live on your timeline. Hemp CBD oil, as you guys know, is all over the place. It's all over the news. It's everywhere you go. You walk in a convenience store, a CVS, grocery stores, gas stations. I mean, just about anywhere, and you can find CBD oil. It's all over the news. So obviously, this is a mega trend right now. The problem with that is a lot of companies are jumping on the bandwagon because they see this massive, massive trend that's happening and they want to cash in on it. So regardless of whether they've maybe been in the wellness industry before or not, you know, the motivation might be just to make some money. And the problem with that is a lot of people are getting hurt in the process because most people don't know what to look for when they're, you know, if they do decide based on what they're reading, what they're hearing on the news, whatever, maybe what a friend told them, you know, they decide they want to try CBD oil, but they don't know where to begin. So that's the whole purpose of our live today. I am going to cover 7 things that you need to look for when you decide to buy CBD oil. But before I start, oh yeah, we do have some people watching live. Rita is here from North Georgia. Diane from Washington. Donna from right here in Lancaster. Who else? Lorelei. Hey, Lorelei. Isabel. Oh, wow, Isabel. You gotta love this technology. We're sitting here in our apartment in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and able to share this news all the way around the world. Dave Emmerich says the Amish are jumping on the bandwagon too. And I believe that because the Amish, I mean, they're known for wanting to do things that are more natural. You know, they're more interested in prevention. They're not as quick to get on pharmaceuticals or run to the doctor. So it makes perfect sense that they are interested in CBD oil. And Kyle, hey Kyle, he's watching from upstate New York. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Isabel has nothing on her screen. Are you sure we're live? Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, hopefully, Isabel, if you missed the live, you'll be able to see the replay. Okay, so I have my notes here, and we are going to go through 7 different things that you need to look for when buying CBD oil. Now, the first one is very long. My first point that I want to make. So don't get worried. The other ones are much shorter. It'll probably take me the same amount of time to go through number 2 through 7 as what it does number 1. Number 1 is you need to read the label. First of all, the average, when you go out and you start looking at CBD oils out in the stores, the average one, excuse me, is going to have anywhere from 5 to 9 ingredients. Sometimes even more than that. A high quality CBD oil should have 2 or 3. I'm going to show you the label of the one that we take. I know this is probably hard to read. There are 2 ingredients in this CBD oil. There is the CBD extract, and there is hemp seed oil. If this one that I took was flavored, there would be a 3rd ingredient. I happen to like the natural, so it only has 2 ingredients. If you see more than 3 ingredients on the label, I want to encourage you to put it back on the shelf. Anything more than those 3 ingredients are fillers. And the reason they're doing that is because all these different companies want to jump on the bandwagon, but they can't afford to purchase CBD oil in a mass quantity. So they're paying more for the CBD, and then what they're doing is diluting it. So they're adding things like water, coconut oil, palm oil, MCT oil. I've seen honey. I've seen vitamin E. I mean, I've seen all these other things. And even some of those ingredients may not be bad ingredients, but the point is they don't belong in CBD oil. Now, when they extract the CBD from the hemp plant, it's a very thick substance. So you need to have a carrier oil. The company that we use uses hemp seed oil as the carrier. So there is nothing in this bottle except for what is in the hemp plant. And I love that. I love to have things that I'm going to eat or drink or whatever that are as close to natural as possible, as close to the way they're grown in nature. And doesn't it make sense? If you need an oil to thin out the CBD extract, why would you use coconut oil? We're not talking about coconuts. We're talking about hemp. So it makes perfect sense to use hemp seed oil. So I hope that makes sense. And the other thing with these additives that they're using, some of them you need to look up. If you're already taking a CBD oil, you should look up every single ingredient that is on that label. Some of these fillers have side effects. If you look up MCT oil, you're going to see a long list of side effects. And some of these other fillers, some of the possible side effects are things like dizziness, heart palpitations, nausea, that's a good one. So it's just very important that you have a very clean, pure product. So again, you want to see 2 ingredients, the CBD extract and hemp seed oil. And then if it's flavored, our company makes cinnamon and peppermint. Then, of course, you're going to see a 3rd ingredient. Another thing, you can't go by comparison charts. I know there's a lot of comparison charts floating around out there on the internet. Well, the thing you have to realize is most likely that comparison chart was put together by the company that's trying to sell you the CBD oil. I mean, they can put anything on there that they want. You know, we have to use our brain, use our common sense, and look at the source look at the source of the information. Another thing that you should definitely look for is third-party testing. What that means is, oh, I'm sorry, let me get a drink. Tell them about third-party testing, Ron. Oh, I don't know why. I must be talking too much today. Third-party testing means that the product is sent to an outside lab. It's not a lab that the company owns. You can make the testing look any way you want if you're the one doing the testing for your product. Third-party means it's an outside company. So you want to look for third-party testing. You want to look for a certificate of analysis. And that means what they're doing there is they're analyzing the product and listing what they found in that product. Is there CBD in the product? In case you didn't see this news clip, if you didn't see this, you have to reach out to Ron or I, and I can give you the link. There was a news clip done from just outside New York City. And on the news, it's just a short 4 or 5 minute clip. But what they did is they went out and they purchased 13 different brands of CBD oil. And then they sent them to an independent lab and had them tested to see what was actually in those 13 different oils. 4 of them had no CBD whatsoever. One of them had a very high level of THC, which tells me that was not coming from the hemp plant. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you get me something? CBD oil. I think I need some more. Oh my goodness, I don't know what is happening to my voice. Anyway, one of those had a very high level of THC in it, which means that that was coming from the marijuana plant, not the hemp plant, because hemp has 0.3% THC. They also found one of those that they tested had ethanol in it, which that's a flammable solvent. So you really don't want that in your CBD oil. But the worst one of all tested positive for E. coli. I mean, it was just crazy. And out of 13 different brands, only one had in the bottle what was actually on the label. And this is why they keep calling CBD oil the Wild Wild West. So you really want to look for third-party testing and a certificate of analysis. And if you go to whoever is sharing this live with you, ask them for their website. And you can click on documentation and you can look at all the certificate of analysis. You're going to find gas chromatography testing on there. And all of those tests are showing you things like, what is actually in this bottle? Is there CBD oil in here? They can put anything they want on the label. Right now, there's not a whole lot of regulation yet, but that's coming. And as they come out with more and more guidelines for the hemp CBD oil industry, you're going to see companies falling by the wayside by the hundreds. I can promise you that. There are thousands and thousands of companies out there right now jumping on the bandwagon. In a matter of the next couple of years, it's probably going to be down to, I don't know, my guess is maybe 25, maybe a few more, but it's not going to be in the thousands because people are going to be educated. That's the whole reason we're doing this. I hate to see people waste money. I know I hate to waste money. So I don't want anybody else. I don't want any of my Facebook friends or any of their friends spending their hard-earned money for a CBD oil that possibly has no CBD in it, possibly has too much THC in it, possibly has E. coli in it. I mean, it's just craziness. So you need to look for third-party testing. Another thing that they test for with CBD oil is mold. Because of the way, you're talking about a plant here. So the reason we don't have mold in our CBD oil is because we use a fresh lock drying system. And that means our hemp, in 4 minutes, it goes from being harvested to vacuum sealed in 4 minutes. Well, that's not enough time for mold to grow. But think about it, when even if you've ever tried to dry any kind of plant or any flowers or anything, I mean, it's no time at all. It doesn't take long till you'll see mold growing. But with our company, it's a matter of 4 minutes and it is vacuum sealed. But that's the type of thing you want to look for on the certificate of analysis. You also want to look for any residual solvents. Are they using solvents to extract the CBD? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. And the other thing with the gas chromatography testing is it shows you the actual amount of CBD that's in that product. So you'll know, maybe the label says 2,000 milligrams, but can they prove that? Or are they just putting that on the label to make you think, wow, look at all the CBD oil I'm getting for X amount of dollars? So this is the type of thing you have to look for third-party testing. If they don't have it, I would move on to a different company. They need to be able to back up what they're saying. And again, I mean, the most important thing you can do is learn to read the label, look for 2 or 3 ingredients. That's it. If you see any more than 3 ingredients, just put it back because you're wasting your money on fillers. Okay, so that is all of point number 1. You need to read the ingredients, know how to read the label, and look for third-party testing. Number 2 is what method are they using to extract the CBD? In the hemp plant, when they take out the CBD and all the other cannabinoids, because I don't know if you know this or not, but there are over 85 cannabinoids in the hemp plant. CBD is just one of them. But the reason they call it CBD oil is because the CBD has by far the most medicinal properties. But in that hemp plant, there is CBG, CBN, CBC, THC. Those are all cannabinoids. So what happens when they extract all the cannabinoids from the hemp plant? Like I said earlier, that's a very thick substance, which is why you're going to see an oil. There's going to be some kind of oil in there, and it should be hemp seed oil as the carrier. So that just kind of thins it out so that they can bottle it and you can take it with a dropper. There's a couple different ways to extract the cannabinoids from the hemp plant. One is using solvents. That's the cheapest way to do it. The problem with that is the solvent that they use is ethanol. Ethanol is a flammable, harsh chemical. And if they're using it to extract the cannabinoids, most likely there's going to be some traces of that in the product. And I'm pretty sure you're not taking CBD oil because you want ethanol. So I'm very thankful that our company does not use the ethanol extraction method. We use what is called a CO2 extraction method. And there's actually 2 different ways to do CO2. There is a supercritical and a subcritical. Supercritical means they're using high heat. There again, I'm a firm believer, the less you mess with things in nature and the more you keep things the way our Creator provided them, the better off we are. Because as you know, heat destroys the live enzymes in anything. And that's why you always hear people that are talking about health and nutrition, they talk about eating a lot of your diet raw, because then you get the life that is in that food. If you expose it to too much heat, you're destroying all the live enzymes in that food. Same thing with hemp. If you use a high heat process, you're probably destroying a lot of the health benefits of the cannabinoids. So our company uses what is called a subcritical CO2 method, which just means very low heat. And that way it preserves all those cannabinoids in the hemp plant. And that's really what we're after in the first place. So by using that subcritical CO2 method, we're getting the maximum amount of CBD and cannabinoids in our CBD oil. Okay. So by using that extraction method, it is more expensive, but it's much more effective in as far as the quality of the end product. Okay, point number 3, check reviews. That's one of the best ways to, I think, to learn about any product, or anything. Like, I know that's one of the first things we do if we're thinking about buying something, is we read a lot of reviews. You can't go by just one, but you want to, see how it's working for other people. So one of the best things that we have to offer people is we have a private group here on Facebook with over 100,000 people. That's a lot of people. And inside that private group, people are sharing their CBD testimonies. There's no selling taking place. You're not going to see any websites in there. If anybody puts their website in there, they get booted out of the group. The group is to be a resource for people to learn about CBD and to research and see how is it helping other people with my health issue. That's what people want to know. It's great if it works for you, but most people really want to know, is it going to help me with what I'm struggling with? So inside that private group, there's a search box and you can search for any health issue that you want. And then testimonies will come up concerning that health issue. And what else is nice is you can correspond then with other people that maybe are taking the CBD oil for the same reason that you're looking into. So I want to encourage you to, whoever is sharing this live with you, ask them to add you to that private testimonial group and do your homework. Do your homework on the company. Do they have a money-back guarantee? Do they have a phone number? Do they have an address? I mean, you just can't assume anything, especially in this industry because of the way that it's trending. There's just so much riffraff out there right now. So number 3 is check reviews, but also check the source of those reviews. Because that's what I love about our private testimonial group. There's 100,000 people in there. Most of them are just customers. They're not people involved in the CBD oil business. So of course, if a company's putting out reviews, of course they're going to pick and choose the good reviews. You want unbiased reviews by a large group of customers. And that's exactly what we have available to you in that private testimonial group. Okay, number 4 is serving size. What does the label say about the serving size? Because what happens is typically when they're using fillers and a lower quality product, the serving size is going to be higher because the product is diluted. So if there's no fillers, then you're going to need to take less. And just recently, we had somebody come back to us that admitted that they tried a different product and they found that they had to take twice as much to even get close to the same results that they were getting with ours. So in the long run, it ended up being quite a bit more expensive. So, pay attention to that. You can't just go by the price on the bottle. How many servings are in that bottle? You'll notice on our label, there are 50 servings in every bottle. And what I love is our company offers a 60-day money-back guarantee. So that allows you to try an entire bottle and you still have time to get your money back if it didn't work for you, which I can promise you is not going to happen. When you use a high quality product, the hemp CBD is a phenomenal plant, the hemp plant. If you do much research on the hemp plant, you will find it probably, I don't think there is a plant that has more healing medicinal properties than the hemp plant. There is no doubt whatsoever that that plant was left here by our creator for our use. And we're excited. We are so excited to be part of this huge movement that is taking place right now where people are going back to plant medicine. I think people are fed up with so many different pharmaceuticals out there. There's a pill for every ill. And I just personally, I've been an advocate of God's pharmacy now for 40 years. And I would much rather go that route. I would much rather do my homework, do my research, and look for natural ways if I'm having some sort of a health issue. If you look, yeah, you might be able to take a pill and make it go away really quick and easy, but what are the side effects? Because most times what happens if you start looking at the side effects of a pharmaceutical, you're going to find it has side effects that are worse than the reason you were going to take it in the first place. Well, that makes no sense whatsoever. So we have to educate ourselves. We have to be our own advocate. Nobody knows better how you feel than you. And, I often say, if you don't take care of your physical body, where in the world are you going to live? I mean, we have to, take care of the body that we have so that we can be productive and we can have a good quality of life. Life isn't much fun if you don't feel well. So anyway, serving size is number 4. Also, you will notice if you look at synthetic brands, which the pharmaceutical industry is trying to reproduce what the creator already provided for us, but in a pharma or a synthetic brand of CBD oil, you're definitely going to have to take more, which makes no sense to me. I will never, ever, ever believe that man is going to be able to reproduce what the creator provided. I mean, there are so many things in that hemp plant that we are getting in the CBD oil. And I don't believe that's going to be reproduced in a test tube. The reason the pharmaceutical industry does it that way is because they want to patent it. You can't patent a plant. So think about that. Okay, number 5, research the hype. There is so much hype in the CBD oil industry right now, and you have to think about, like, are they just trying to capitalize on fancy words? One of them I see out there a lot is nanotechnology, which I'm not going to get into all that, but you need to do your research if you're looking at something and you think nanotechnology is the way to go. Water soluble is another buzzword out there with CBD oil. So research that a little bit. If you're looking and you're seeing those buzzwords out there, that's all they are buzzwords. What our company is doing is using the low heat CO2 process to extract all the cannabinoids from the hemp plant. They're thinning it out a little bit with CBD or with hemp seed oil and putting it in a bottle. End of story. So it's as close to nature as humanly possible. We're not adding a bunch of stuff. We're not messing with a bunch of stuff. It's just as close to nature as possible. Number 6, what is the difference in oils? I'm sure you have seen the term full spectrum as well as the term isolate. So that can be a little confusing. Full spectrum means they are using all the cannabinoids in the hemp plant. I mentioned earlier there are over 85 cannabinoids in the hemp plant. CBD is one. You have CBG, CBN, CBC. I mean, there's a long list of them. They all have different things that they do in the body. CBD, again, by far has the highest and the most medicinal properties. But when you take our full spectrum, you are getting all the cannabinoids that are in that plant. They're using the entire plant, the flowers, the leaves, the stalks. So you're getting everything that's in that plant. And all those cannabinoids, when you take them together, they have what they call an entourage effect, which just means they work better when they're all together. An isolate is just CBD, nothing else. The reason for that is because it has 0 THC in it. Inside the full spectrum, just like in the hemp plant, there is going to be 0.3% THC because that's what's found in the hemp plant. Now, that is not enough THC to have any psychoactive effect whatsoever. I mean, I could drink this whole bottle of CBD oil and it's going to have no psychoactive effect. 0.3% is like nothing. But it's enough that depending on how you metabolize it, it's possible it would show up on a random drug test. So if you are someone that is subject to random drug screenings because of your job, then you are going to want to take the isolate, because what they're doing there is they are just extracting the CBD and you are not getting anything but CBD. Now, you might find that you have to take a little bit more because you're not getting all of the other cannabinoids. When you're looking at our website, you will notice the isolate has a white cap instead of black, just so you kind of know what to look for. This is the full spectrum. We are not subject to random drug screening since we're self-employed, so we take the full spectrum. Okay, number 7. We're almost done. Number 7 is the hemp seal. When you watch these different news clips that are out there, you will often hear the term, it's the wild, wild west in the CBD industry. There's a certain amount of truth to that because, we're just getting going in this industry. They're just discovering all the healing properties of CBD oil. But like I said before, in the next couple years, you are going to see more and more and more regulation And a lot of these companies are going to fall by the wayside. In the meantime, there is a hemp roundtable. You can look that up. And that is an organization that has established legislation with our federal government as well as our state governments. So they have already established some guidelines for the CBD oil industry. What they're testing products for is purity and safety. There are thousands. The figure I read was 22,000 companies making CBD oil right now. 15 of them have been given the Hemp Seal. So that should speak volumes to you right there. Now, maybe they'll come out with a few more that get the Hemp Seal, but as of right now, there are 15. What that is an orange H. It's a round label. And our company right now, they just were awarded the Hemp Seal. This is all very new. They were just awarded the 1st of March, the first 15 companies. So our company's in the process of adding that seal to our labels. But it's just very similar to the USDA organic round symbol that you see on food that is of higher quality, less pesticides, and they have to meet certain standards to have that USDA organic symbol on. Well, same thing with CBD oil. There's going to be 15 companies now that can carry that round seal on their bottle, on their label with an orange H. So what they're doing, they're going through rigorous testing to determine which companies can have that hemp seal. So I am so proud that our company actually was awarded 2 of those 15 seals. One was awarded to our grower, which is Gencana. And if you have never heard of Gencana, you need to ask the person that shared this live with you to share a video with you. There's a very short video out there. It's, I think, like 5 minutes long. And it's all about the Gencana farms, which are located in Kentucky. And that's where our hemp is grown. They follow an organic process. It's non-GMO. There's no sprays, none of that stuff. All of it is grown here in the United States, because that's another huge thing. So much of this hemp is coming in from other countries that don't have near the standards or regulations that we have. And it makes no sense to me at all. Like, I could not believe I went into a local Amish health food store expecting that I would find a little higher quality CBD oil. When I read the label and there was a brochure laying there from that same company, it says right on the brochure that they are importing the hemp from other countries. To me, that just doesn't even make sense. This is a United States-based company. Our hemp is grown here. It's bottled here. And that just makes so much more sense to me. But anyway, so we do have 2 of those 15 seals, one for our grower, which again is Gencana, and one for our distribution company, which is called HempWorks. So with all that being said, those were my 7 points today of things that you really need to look for when buying CBD oil. I'm going to ask Ron here to quickly scroll through some of these comments and see if we have any questions. If this information was helpful to you, please share this live with your friends. I apologize for my voice there a little bit in the beginning. Cheryl Ann is asking, does it work for everyone? I'm going to give you my opinion on that, Cheryl, because that's pretty much all I have. My answer to that is yes. If someone is willing to be consistent, you can't take the oil every 5th day. or every once in a while when you think about it. You need to take CBD oil twice a day. I keep our bottle right beside our toothpaste. I saw that suggestion one time somewhere that the girl said, brush my teeth, take my oil. Brush my teeth, take my oil. Most of us brush our teeth twice a day. First thing in the morning, last thing before bed. That's perfect. As soon as you're done brushing your teeth, take your oil. So first of all, you have to take it consistently, and you have to find your sweet spot. We are all so different. We are different sizes. We metabolize things differently. We're probably in a lot different health starting out. Maybe your endocannabinoid system is so incredibly depleted that you're going to need to take more. So you have to, they call it your sweet spot, and that is finding the amount that works for you. The recommended, if you follow the serving suggestions, it says to start out with 5 drops under your tongue. We didn't talk about that, but you take CBD oil under your tongue, because under there you have a lot of capillaries, and that way it allows the CBD oil to be absorbed right into your bloodstream, and you're going to get 98% absorption. So you're bypassing your whole gastrointestinal tract. If you take pills or capsules, that is less than 50% absorption. So you take it under your oil, or under your tongue. You take it under your tongue. You don't eat or drink anything for about 10 or 15 minutes. And, just give it a little time to absorb. So in my opinion, yes, if you take it consistently every day and you're willing to, play around with the amount a little bit to find what works best for you, I believe that this will help every single person. What I forgot to finish saying is the serving suggestions say 5 drops twice a day under your tongue. And then for the first week, the second week you increase to 10 drops twice a day. Personally, we have found most people don't have to go beyond that. Sometimes that may even be a little bit too much. So that's where you have to play around with it a little bit. There are no known side effects. The only thing I ever read was if you're taking too much, it'll make you a little sleepy. So if you feel like you've been taking the oil and you're feeling sleepy, then just cut back a little bit. Okay, Ron, are there any more questions? Mm-hmm. No more questions or comments. All right, guys. Whew. Thank you so much for sticking with us on this Facebook Live. I hope the information was beneficial, and we will see you on our next Facebook Live. Bye for now.